Please find your seats. We're ready to begin. Go Cats! please be seated. It's a distinct pleasure to welcome the class of 2022, your families and friends, to this beautiful morning here on Westminster's campus. I'm Keith Evans. I'm the president of the Westminster Schools, and it is our delight to have you all here for our commencement this year. As you might imagine, an occasion like this takes lots and lots of hands, hearts, and minds to pull together. And before we get started, I want to offer a very warm and hearty thank you to our facilities staff and to all of the other people who helped to put this array of academic glory in front of us today. And so if we could give those folks a round of applause, I know they'd appreciate it. I'm also the biggest fan of our musicians. They add so much to occasions like this, and I never want to miss an opportunity to thank them for what they bring to not only this morning, but many, many things during the year. And so thank you to our musicians as well. And finally, class of 2022, there is one group you've not heard me thank because I've been waiting until this morning to do it. And that's your faculty sitting behind you. You all have been through a particularly unusual set of circumstances, challenges, and adversity in your high school career, and the folks sitting behind you have been there each moment of that experience with you. They've supported you, they have encouraged you, they've motivated you, and they brought you to this moment. They're an outstanding, outstanding group, and I'd like to give them a round of applause as well, and a thank you to our faculty. And I'd like to now ask Stephanie and Jacob to come forward for our scripture and our prayer.
A reading from Luke chapter 2, verses 41 to 52. His parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of Passover, and when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem according to the custom of the feast. When they had finished the days, as they returned, the boy Jesus lingered behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother did not know it. But supposing him to have been in the company, they went a day's journey and sought him among their relatives and acquaintances. So when they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem, seeking him. Now, so it was that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers, both listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. So when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said to him, "Son, why have you done this to us? Look, your father and I have sought you anxiously." And he said to them, "Why did you seek me? Did you not know that I must be in my father's business?" But they did not understand the statement which he spoke to them. Then he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and was subject to them, but his mother kept all these things in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man.
Will you please pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, we praise you for this commencement day. We thank you for the Westminster Schools and your everlasting faithfulness, love, and presence on this campus. Your word is a lamp before our feet and a light for our journey. As we sit here this morning, we are overwhelmed by the love that surrounds us. We praise you for our families and how they have loved us unconditionally, provided for us, and how they have led us to who we are today. We thank you for our Westminster faculty members, administration, coaches, and the entire Westminster community, and how they have cared for us, taught us, walked beside us, and encouraged us to be the leaders we are today. Most of all, I'm thankful for you, who gave me victory through your Son, Jesus Christ. We praise you for all that the Westminster class of 2022 represents. We have persevered through a pandemic and many unknowns. However, the bond that we share from those trials and tribulations is undeniable. This perseverance has shaped us, and it has allowed us to grow to who you intended for us to be. As we continue to grow, we pray that each of us will go out into the world and lead according to your will for our lives. Lord, as we embark on our next chapter, I ask that you protect us and illuminate our path as we all venture into territory that is unknown. In Luke 2:52, Jesus grew in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man. I pray that each of us would continue to grow in wisdom and stature, and in favor with you and others. As we reflect on our Westminster experience and all that we have been given, the blessings are too many to count. May we, as the class of 2022, remember that to whom much is given, much is expected. Lord, show each of us how to do great things in this world according to your will. And may the class of 2022 always claim Philippians 1:6. And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in your will bring it into completion until the day of Jesus Christ. In your Son's name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Jacob. Good morning. I'm Joel Murphy. I am chair of the Board of Trustees, and I'm also a member of the Westminster class of 1976. And it's my honor to welcome you to today's graduation of the class of 2022 on this beautiful God-given morning. Today we celebrate not only these fine young and men and women seated right here among us, but also those first young women who had been at the North Atlanta Presbyterian School, NAPS, and they walked across the commencement stage 70 years ago under the aegis of a fledgling startup called the Westminster Schools. And we also today celebrate the inspiring courage of Westminster's first 5 black students as they walked across this very same commencement stage here on the steps of Presley 50 years ago as members of the class of 1972. But today we celebrate this class of 2022, not only for your inspirational achievements, your servant leadership, and your community involvement, but also you're the class that has led us out of the pandemic. They've shown all of us how to learn despite distance, despite masks, and even with a weekly offering of their saliva. And then how to smile and laugh again when the mask came off. They have shown us how to cheer on their peers in moments of triumph and in moments of loss. They have shown us how to work hard and wisely no matter what came their way, including backhoes, construction vehicles, and yes, even the beloved learning cottages. Now, they've even shown us how to not take ourselves too seriously with a prank that removed classroom furniture, piled up somewhere, I'm not quite sure exactly where, maybe it's been disassembled, right here. Okay, thank you for that. But of course, being Wildcats, they put little markers and Post-its of what buildings and classrooms they had come from, so when it was time to return them, it could be done in an orderly fashion. So I sat right there on May 23rd, 1976, on a beautiful spring Sunday morning, not at all unlike today. The trees were a lot shorter. We didn't have Broyles, we didn't have Robinson, we didn't have Clarkson Hall, we didn't have Love Hall, although we did have a girls' dorm that sat on that site. We didn't have a loop road, we didn't have a parking deck. We didn't have Hawkins Hall, we didn't have Barge Commons, or a newly renovated Campbell. But we did have this place, this important place, where we are all gathered here right now. And right here, just like you, there was a class of young men and women sitting right here doing this thing, right where you are now, and just like you are now, we were excited about what the future would bring. So we're all fortunate to have Roz Brewer as our speaker today. I know Keith will be giving us all a proper introduction of Roz, but let me just say a couple of things. Roz is a terrific mom. She and her husband, John, are parents of 2 Westminster graduates. She's an inspiring business and community leader, and most importantly, to me personally, she is a trusted and valued friend. Now, like Roz, we had a man speak at our 1976 graduation. His name was Erskine Love, and he, among many other notable accomplishments and things that he accomplished during his lifetime, is the grandfather of one of our graduates today. I connect these dots for you to tell you that I remember the moment and his comments vividly. Although I will say, in a bit of fairness, a large group of us had attended the Aerosmith concert the night before downtown at the Omni, so suffice it to say that perhaps I was just, a tad fatigued. You can fact check me on the Aerosmith concert. So my point here is that I took with me a valued takeaway, and that was one of Mr. Love's central themes, and it was about integrity. His comments about integrity were inspiring and informing, and they have been and remain extremely meaningful to me today. In fact, I actually have a hard copy of his speech that was shared initially with me at my request by his daughter, who was one of my 76 classmates, and she's also in our audience today. So, class of 2022, listen to Roz Brewer today. This is a woman like Erskine Love who is inspiring and has something to say. So listen for that takeaway. You will hear something, right? Likely many and several things that will resonate with you. You might not fully appreciate it today, but as time passes, you will. So listen for it, find it, and keep it with you. So, we're going to get going with this. So thank you to this historic class of 2022, a class that will be talked about 50 and 70 years from now as the class that led Westminster out of the pandemic. You inspire me, and you inspire all of us here today. So now I'd like to invite the class co-presidents, Avi Singh and Neil Padar, to share their reflections with us. And I believe that Avi is going to lead us off. Avi?
Thank you, Mr. Murphy, for that very warm welcome. I'm also thankful to the parents and guardians who supported us throughout this entire journey, to the faculty members who put up with us during office hours, especially Mr. Allen, where instead of doing physics, we learned how to juggle. And in Mr. Monahan's, where I learned what a credit score was. Thank you to Senora Tisello and Ms. Martinez for sponsoring the exchange trip to Argentina, where upon arrival to the States, my mom visibly gasped at the sight of Neil, Toby, Rahul's, and my multicolored polka-dotted hair with a special Argentine fade. We looked more like clowns than the sweet little boys whom she once knew. Thank you to the siblings out there who will now get an extra room to themselves and the 3rd floor of the parking garage, but only the 3rd floor according to Mr. Batchelor. Thank you to my friends who have put up with my jokes, mannerisms, and the need to take timer photos to capture every single CJD moment for the past 4 years. Thank you to the security guard who played Nardo Wick and took the most legendary class photo of all time right here on Presley Steps the night of the senior prank. And most of all, thank you to the facilities for keeping us well fed, especially Miss Maria in the far left lunch line. All my veggie and allergy kids out there know who I'm talking about. Thank you for keeping us well tested and for ensuring that we as a school and as a community have the perfect environment to bond. And to the police officers for making sure we are safe each and every day when we cross the street or for having our shirts untucked. And for that, I can't thank all of you enough for the dedication and hard work that went behind the scenes to make Westminster our home for the past 4 years. Before we go off throwing our hats into the air and leave this campus until OIA wants us to come back for a luncheon on a random Tuesday in December. I have a few words. You know what I find fascinating? I find it so interesting that the strongest part of your body aren't your muscles or your intellect, but instead it's your voice. I came to realize that with your voice, you can impart any information you want to however small or large an audience, and people will listen. I mean, I did write a speech beforehand for this, but if I really wanted to, I could completely scrap it and speak about whatever I'd like. I could talk about the goosebumps that I got when I heard Toby Lou play his violin in McCain. I could talk about how efficient we were at clearing out Hawkins, Presley, Campbell, and Askew of their chairs, desks, and markers, all in a span of 45 minutes. I could talk about that fateful day in quarantine where our group meet exploded, literally and metaphorically. I could talk about the walk of shame when I get into Dr. Sleemy's class 15 minutes late on test day. I could talk about how Mr. Batchelor called me on the very first day of summer last year for a quick little chat. I could talk about the most genuine smile I get from seeing Neil Padar wear some random costume to school, either as a banana, leprechaun, Santa, or Abraham Lincoln. Or how great Luca Fleury looked in that hot pink shirt during the musical. I could talk about how great Jared is on the slopes. Or how many people it takes to break a hockey table in half. For those out there wondering, it takes four people. So 3's the limit. I could talk about our ability to come together in times of need, like with the grill, and how talented some of us are at that, but we could learn to cook chicken a little more thoroughly. I mean, mine was a little bit raw, but I was fine afterwards. But no, I'm not going to talk about any of those. Instead, I feel that it would be better if we stopped and talked about the political and economic state of the world right now. I'm kidding. Rather, I want to talk about how we as a class have used our voices. We've used our voices to thank others, to forgive, laugh, tell stories, pass down legacies, reminisce about the past, stress about the future, stay connected with friends, impart wisdom, not impart wisdom. It can most definitely be used to not impart wisdom. A quick 1-minute conversation with me can show you that. But your voice is what makes you, you. Yes, we are all in the same forest green gowns, with that same hat on, with that gold-plated 2022 on the right side of our faces. We're all going to get that diploma as we walk across this very stage, listening to Dr. Stewart conduct Pomp and Circumstance as the snare drummer's hands begin to tire. We are the same in many aspects, and even when we get out of here, we're still going to be the same. Many of us are going to be lost. But if you're lost, what do? What would a certain character in a critically acclaimed film called Finding Nemo do? Well, she just keeps swimming, swimming, swimming. And who will be our companion on this journey? What will be our Marlin to our Dory? Our voices. Our voices are what will keep us safe and sane as we traverse this journey we're about to go on when we wake up tomorrow to find our Nemo, which could honestly be anywhere. Our Nemos could be in Hollywood, Broadway, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Iceland Symphony Hall, the White House, hospitals and clinics, and even the Nobel Prize stand in Stockholm. And I know that one of you out there will be in a lab on the brink of finding the cure to cancer. Yeah, I said that. I said that with my voice because I mean it. But using my voice hasn't always been easy. Every now and then a stammer comes up, or I stumble over my words, and my mom says, "Beta, slow down. What are you trying to say?" But I've learned to get past that part of me. Because something like that should never stop you from voicing the thoughts you have and your opinions. Really, nothing should stop you from speaking what you want. If you want to make a Finding Nemo metaphor to an audience of esteemed individuals, go for it. If you want to make a G.I. Jane joke, I'm not going to stop you. If you want to truly talk about the economic and political state of the world right now, be my guest, because I'm not going to stop you, and neither should anybody else. So please, go out there and use your voice. Use your voice to smile, to laugh, to make drive-through orders not awkward, to talk about world problems, to forgive, to complain, and of course, to love challenge and to lead change. Use your voice to not only make others happy, but yourself. And remember, you won't ever be alone. You won't have one shoulder to lean on, but 398. You won't have one shoulder to cry on, but 398. We will always be here for each other no matter the circumstance. And I truly believe that through what we've been through, we can get through anything together. And from the words of my dear friend and classmate Stephen Shin, this is not goodbye, but rather a simple see you later. Until our paths cross again. I love you, class of 2022. Thank you.
I want you to think about how fun Westminster has been over the last half-decade. I know half of you are looking at me like I'm crazy, since school and fun are oxymoronic and don't exactly go together. It's like saying jumbo shrimp. Like, how can a shrimp be a shrimp and jumbo at the same time? It doesn't make any sense. Well, now that you're at the end of high school, I encourage you to look at some of your most upsetting high school moments and find the comedy in it. For example, going all the way back to 6th grade, we had a bit of shortage of footballs and basketballs. So being the absolutely brilliant Westminster students we are, we went to the next best thing, fruit. On an average day in fruit break, an onlooker passing by the locker commons could see games of tips with an orange, long distance catch with apples, and the occasional 6th grader simply chucking clementines against the lockers just to savor the explosions, enjoying the splattered pulp and juice covering the benches. Imagine our shock and outrage when fruit was banned from fruit break. And despite fruit break retaining its name for the remainder of our middle school, we were never allowed fruit at fruit break anymore. Another example is when Stephen Shin made our lab group redo a whole titration lab in Dr. Davis's chemistry class because we went 1 milliliter over. Trust me, if you're doing a lab with Stephen, make sure to read the directions over and over and over and over again, because an angry Stephen is the last thing you want to see. I think I still have nightmares about that day. But now, when I think of chemistry, I never think of all the tests I failed, but instead, I always think of Stephen's angry face. And I'm grateful for it, because now I can finally look at it without being scared. Despite enduring endless mounds of homework, tiring nights after practice, and often failing, as I walk off campus for the last time, it's not the stress I take with me, but the memories I made here. I'm going to remember how Mr. Finsway made Charlotte Snyder stand on top of the table, look down at him, and demand a longer lunch because we had firecracker chicken for lunch that day. I'm going to remember 7th grade, when Rajan Kadaba replaced all of Mr. Falsetti's New England Patriots pictures with Atlanta Falcons pictures the day before the Super Bowl, only for the Falcons to blow the game away. I'm going to remember when Mr. Souza wrote in Noah Turbis's comments, "I would advise you not to sit next to Neil Padar in class as he frequently distracts you." That one hurt a bit, but trust me, my comment was worse than that. Many of your parents are probably wondering why I'm up here today. Well, you can blame your children, they voted for me. I'm going to remember all the bathroom parties where we would cram into a single bathroom, sometimes 100 guys at a time, passing around pizza, fried chicken, rotisserie chicken, cookie cake, lemonade, and pretty much any other type of food you can think of. It was a perfect getaway from class that you could always count on. Shout out to William Maxwell for being our supreme leader of the boys' bathroom. I'm going to remember watching our entire grade raid the various buildings and walk out with mounds of chairs and huge smiles across their faces, as if they had just stolen President Evans' garden gnomes. These moments have defined my Westminster experience, but it's also important to acknowledge some of the little moments and people that I've taken for granted. And looking back, I cannot imagine Westminster without them. I'm going to remember Annie Jardina's unique yet contagious laugh that always made a joke that much funnier. Or Sophia Ratcliffe's one-of-a-kind stories about meeting celebrities. I'm going to miss the moment every day when I'd see Alex Paquetta in the halls, and we would stop, raise our hands to the sky, and yell out, "Martin Gare!" I can sense Dr. Pace rolling her eyes right now. She had to hear that every day because me and Alex were in her class together. I'm going to miss Hunter Wanamaker's Batman voice and Riley O'Neal's Joker laugh, which still gives me chills. However, not every moment has been this sweet. I want to tell you about one of the greatest obstacles we ever faced as a class in 8th grade. Like most 8th graders, we pushed the boundaries a little bit, maybe broke some stuff. However, after someone accidentally exploded an ink pen that went all over the locker commons, Senor Hoyos had no choice but to kick us out of our own locker commons. After many morning meetings, out in the rain and in the frigid, harsh, bone-chilling, 50-degree Atlanta winters, we soon realized how unacceptable our behavior was, and we decided to regain our once sacred home. Another obstacle we had to face was the one and only COVID-19. To be honest, COVID truly showed the ingenuity of Westminster students. I mean, on Zoom, we used to set up virtual backgrounds of our resting faces in our room to make it look like we were immensely paying attention, when in reality, we were either sleeping, eating a huge meal, or gaming with each other. It usually worked pretty effectively, except for when Zoom classes ended early and you were still zoned in and paying attention to the black screen and silence. But on a serious note, we lost half of our high school experience, and yet not only have we survived, but we've thrived through all of it. I mean, come on, we have a school record 31 college commits, athletes who train in sunshine or rain, and hot or cold, and in pandemic or no pandemic. Academically, we have students thriving in every field, and I know I'm looking at the next generation of lawyers, investors, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and doctors. Just putting it on record, I better get a discount. We have extraordinarily talented musicians, actors, and actresses who consistently light up the stage as they perform passionately every time. I mean, I don't even think it's possible for anyone to unsee a Toby Lou concert. I mean, just the way he works that violin. Whew. We have many service clubs that have made a real difference in the community by not only raising money, but connecting with people on a personal level. Even our various affinity groups have been thriving as we've witnessed some amazing assemblies that have taught us about various cultures and have helped shape us into the multicultural community that we are. I don't think any other grade has faced as many obstacles as ours, yet at every single level, our success has been unmatched. What amazes me the most about all of you is not only the way you have managed to turn these obstacles into higher levels of achievement, but more importantly, into stronger relationships. Through both your individual successes and your unrelenting efforts to be kind to each other, you've created a community that I'll always be grateful for. But for us to get here from where we began, we must thank the teachers and faculty who taught us so much over the years. I want to thank Mr. Lovell, who is probably out enjoying retirement on a sailboat right now, for kicking me out of class because I could not stop laughing. That day, he taught me that no matter what happens, make sure to wear a hoodie so you have some way to hide your laughter. I want to thank Mr. Vukovic, who on our Jan term trip sent us straight to our rooms for joking about going to Bubba Coo's Burritos at 3 in the morning. It was definitely a joke. You taught us that teachers are always listening, even when they pretend they aren't. Underclassmen, take this warning seriously. I speak from experience. Thank you to Mr. Rondo for analyzing my email to you in front of the whole class when I accidentally said, I will make sure to miss everything I miss. You taught me not to proofread my emails because we could kill class time by dissecting it word by word. Once again, underclassmen, you know what to do. Okay, but for real, thank you, teachers, for never giving up on us, no matter how many times we failed or how many times we made mistakes. I could always count on you to be in your office hours, just as much as I could count on juniors to park in the senior parking lot. Thank you to Ms. Myring and everyone in college counseling who always brighten our days by greeting us with huge smiles. Thank you so much for everyone in college counseling for making the process so much easier. We couldn't have done it without you. I want to thank my advisor, Ms. Patel, who always acted like she didn't care about any of us, but when the last day came, she showed us that she truly cared more than all of us. Thank you to Ms. Economy and Ms. Chen for always making student government such a pleasure with your enthusiasm and support. Thank you to every coach for helping our athletes get better. Thank you to everyone who helped us clean up our messes. And finally, I want to thank you, class of 2022. You truly brought out the best in me. As many of you remember, my student government journey began standing before you in an Abraham Lincoln costume. Since then, I've worn dozens of costumes and hats, ranging from an inflatable alien costume to a banana costume to a certain Santa sweater. Mr. Monahan knows what I'm talking about. Every time I did so, I loved seeing all of your smiles and laughs, and now I feel that it's right for me to finish my time at Westminster wearing my final hat, this graduation hat. Finally, one I can wear without being scared of Mr. Batcher dress coding me. I'd like to finish off by saying that each one of you have contributed into making Westminster one of the greatest memories I could ask for. When looking back 50 years from now, I'll not remember my failures or successes, but these mere seconds that I've shared with each of you. Simple seconds that have not only allowed me to get through high school, but enjoy it every step of the way. I've grown up hearing people say that nothing lasts forever, but standing here today, I can confidently say that these memories will. Thank you, class of 2022.
Thank you, Avi and Neil. Confirms once again that I really don't know anything that goes on around here. But the one thing that speech affirmed for me was that when I hear the boys are having gatherings in the bathrooms, we need a campus master plan, and we've done it. So that's the end of that. On behalf of the Alum Association, I'd like to ask Alum Board President Wab Kadaba, alum of the class of 1987, to come forward as we present some alum awards. We have 3 Westminster alumni to recognize today, and while the awards are divided by service and distinguished, the truth is that the lines at Westminster blur significantly. For Westminster students and alums to be distinguished is to be of service, both to your alma mater and to the world. Our 3 recipients have certainly demonstrated this value in their lives. It is my honor today to present the 2021-22 Alumni Service Award to Millie Hudson Lathan, who's a proud member of the class of 1959, former elementary school teacher, mother of 3 Westminster alumni, and a proud Westminster grandmother. For over 60 years, Millie has been a leader involved in all aspects of the school. She has volunteered her time as a member of the Alumni Board, Pause Committee Chair, Annual Fund Caller, as well as helping many of her class reunions, and most recently, her 60th. During Millie's 50th reunion, she helped lead the fundraising efforts to establish the Class of 1959 Scholarship Fund. Then 10 years later, during her 60th reunion, Millie was determined to build on their fundraising success. She led the efforts again and inspired her class to fund a full financial aid scholarship for a deserving student. In addition to Millie's volunteer service, she is a wonderful partner and ambassador for the school. She continues to inspire those around her, and her passion for volunteering and fundraising runs deep. In fact, her father volunteered as Westminster's sports doctor when the school was founded, and now this same desire to give back has been passed down to her children, who are committed Westminster volunteers as well. It is very fitting during Millie's senior year, she was recognized for the special tribute of ability as a member of the May Court. As stated in the 1959 links, ability is versatility and intelligence, plus the desire and capacity to use it wisely and unselfishly. This certainly remains true today. Millie, we are grateful for your passion, honesty, determination, intelligence, curiosity, and leadership. It is an honor to present you this award today for your service and dedication to Westminster. We have two Distinguished Alumni Award recipients. The first is Lisa Borders, a graduate of the class of 1975, a former parent, and an emeritus trustee. As we approach the 50th anniversary of Westminster's first Black graduates, it is important to note the integral role that Lisa had when she came to the school in 1969. It was a difficult time for the country, particularly in Atlanta and the South, and yet Lisa persevered. She excelled academically, joined the cheerleading team, was eventually elected president of her class in her junior year. After gaining early admission to Duke, she went on to receive a master's in health administration from the University of Colorado. Lisa's leadership and influence has spanned the private, public, and nonprofit sectors. Before winning a special election as the Atlanta City Council president, Lisa was the president of the Henry W. Grady Health System Foundation, where she led a 5-year, $325 million capital campaign. She went on to serve as the vice president of global community affairs at the Coca-Cola Company before becoming the 4th president of the Women's National Basketball Association. During her leadership, the league recorded its highest attendance rate in history. In 2018, Lisa was selected to be the first president and CEO of Time's Up organization, a nonprofit group founded to support victims of sexual harassment. That same year, People magazine deemed her as one of 25 women changing the world. Currently, Lisa serves as CEO of LMB Group, a management consultancy firm. Lisa is well known for her ability to inspire and execute change. Lisa, for your commitment to changing the world for the better, we honor you today. Congratulations, Lisa. It's also an honor to present the Distinguished Alum Award to Jimmy Wright, class of 1968. Jimmy's journey at Westminster began at an early age. His father, Emmett, was chair of the history department and head basketball coach. In fact, Jimmy lived on campus in one of the 4 faculty houses near the West Wesley Gate. While at Westminster, Jimmy played on both baseball and basketball teams, both of which won state championships. The basketball championship was won on a last-second shot by Jimmy from at least 30 feet away. Even though he was the highest scorer on the team, these were the only points that Jimmy scored in the state championship game his junior year. For his outstanding contributions to basketball, Jimmy was inducted into the Charlie Breithaupt Athletic Hall of Fame. In addition to being an incredible student athlete, he was in the National Honor Society, served as editor of the Lynx, a member of the Quillen Scroll and cum laude, and was recognized as a National Merit Scholarship finalist. He was selected for the Jimmy Funk Memorial Scholarship after his junior year, the highest award for a junior boy at the time. Jimmy was selected as one of Westminster's 2 Moorhead Scholars at Chapel Hill, and after serving in a variety of leadership roles within the independent school sector, he returned to Chapel Hill to be the assistant director of the John Motley Moorhead Foundation. He was eventually recruited to establish the Jefferson Scholars Program at UVA, which now has an endowment of over $800 million, all raised by Jimmy, and is the largest merit-based college program of its kind in the country. The program now also supports professorships and fellowships in order to attract the brightest minds and scholars to Virginia. This fall, UVA will welcome the first class of Volentis Scholars, a new merit scholarship program for first-generation college students. Jimmy is a member of the Raven Society at UVA and has received the Raven Award, the Society's highest honor, in recognition of his service and contributions to the University of Virginia. Jimmy, for your leadership and deep commitment to education, we honor you today. Each of our award recipients will receive a captain's chair for his or her accomplishments in service. Jimmy, congratulations. We have a real treat in store for you all today. Our commencement speaker is Roz Brewer, one of the most prominent business leaders in the United States today. As the CEO of Walgreens Boots Alliance, Roz leads the 16th largest company in the United States as one of only 2 black female CEOs in the Fortune 500. Her career has included leadership roles in successful enterprises ranging from Starbucks to Sam's Club to Amazon to Kimberly-Clark to Walmart to Lockheed Martin. She regularly appears on the lists of the most powerful and influential leaders in business today, and her incredible career would have been enough by itself for Roz to be our speaker today. But it is only part of the reason I was so pleased when Roz said yes to my invitation. More than her success in business, it is Roz's example of leadership, of giving back in service, and her willingness to share her experience, both in good times and adversity, that makes her the perfect match to the class of 2022 and to this moment. She is also devoted to Westminster, and indeed her leadership has made a difference here as well. Roz has served 2 stints on our Board of Trustees, totaling 9 years, and has been a frequent speaker and resource for Westminster classes, faculty, and students. Roz and her husband John are the parents of 2 Westminster graduates, John of the class of 2016, and Cameron, who crossed the stage just last year. Roz, we are delighted that you are with us. Please welcome Roz Brewer.
Good morning. And Keith, thank you for that lovely introduction. And congratulations to the class of 2022. Congratulations to the parents and to the families and to the friends that are here today. And to Chief Keith, as I call him, one of my favorite leaders of all times, and to the faculty and to the staff, thank you for the preparation for today. It gives me great pleasure to serve as the class of 2022 commencement speaker. It is an honor, and it is my sincere pleasure to be here this morning. I would also like to recognize, as Keith stated, a few members of my family who are here today. My husband, John Brewer, and my daughter, Cameron Brewer, Westminster class of 2021, and a rising sophomore at the University of Southern California. My son, John, couldn't be here today. He's in New York working, as Westminster well taught him to work feverishly, and couldn't be here today. But as I prepared this speech for this very special moment, I found great difficulty identifying my message and really keeping my focus. There's so much happening in our world at this very moment that I could have come to you today with a heavy heart, a jumbled brain, and quite honestly, just a little distraught. But after much contemplation, placing myself in the shoes of this class that I get to look at this morning, I quickly returned to being the eternal optimist. I become vastly engaged in the possibilities of each of you excited for your future, and grateful to share this moment with you. You know, I am an optimist, so much so that I often get asked, why are you so positive? Why do you believe that change is always underway? How have you been able to lead in these times of political unrest, a time of war and disease, historic inflation, and global supply chain issues that threaten our access to some of the most basic needs for our communities? But I must admit, I've been blessed with the platform through so many unfortunate events over the past several years that I have been drawn to reflect on what propels my success in uncertain times and what fuels my growth. And I've been forced to try new ways of leading, venture into new opportunities, and forge new ways of doing business. To the Westminster class of 2022, you are embarking on a similar path, a path to figure out who you are when the parents aren't too far away, to bring you that paper that you left at home, begging security on this campus to let you back in the building after hours to grab your laptop that you left somewhere in the middle of the floor, having someone to wake you up when you're about to miss an exam, deciding on majors and career paths, and just learning who you are in this world of vast differences and ever-changing issues and opportunities and just plain old life. As you charter these waters, I want you to take away 4 key words that will paint the journey ahead of you, because these words have certainly chartered my course. Those words are patience, passion, grit, and grace. Patience, passion, grit, and grace. This class is charged to show the world what resilience really looks like through the very same lens of patience, passion, grit, and grace. Since the middle of your sophomore year, your world has been nothing but change and uncertainty. As sophomores, you were asked to learn in isolation, leaving behind friendly chats in the hallways, placing your after-school interests like sports and arts on hold, missing rituals like birthday party celebrations substituted by drive-bys, in many cases, just sheer fear for your personal health and that of your loved ones. So why do I feel patience is so important? Being patient is when you stay the course and you're willing to reshape the objective as things change around you. Doors will continue to shut, and it won't be because you're not capable. It won't be because you're not prepared. It's because there will be things you can't control, like having a perfect SAT score and then the rules change. Like setting your eyes on joining that idyllic company and the markets shift. Like planning to live in a world with clean air and water and finding that your environment is shifting in a rapid pace. So I asked this class to practice to be a good listener. Reduce the tendency to be too self-absorbed. You won't know it all, but you can learn much. Be patient with yourself. View your future as the ultimate learning journey. And most importantly, learn to love and care for yourself deeply. When I think about patience and I think about my journey in life, I think about the times where I have taken opportunities that really didn't seem like they were the path that would lead me anywhere near where I am today. I have had the smallest of jobs and I've had the biggest of jobs. And in those small jobs, I sat wondering, am I ever going to get out of this? Did anything I ever do prepare me for what's next? But I had to be patient with myself and understand that I was learning while I was taking steps backwards, while I saw many doors close before me. And sometimes people don't believe that where I sit today, that could all be possible. but I imagine that you will have the same story one day in your life. And I also imagine that you'll have the same seat that I have in life today. I ask you, secondly, to explore your passions. Explore, do, and go. And by the way, you will have more than one passion. Don't allow your passions to shut off the opportunity to dream. Begin with the skills that are natural to you and develop those that excite you the most. And when the going gets tough, your work has to match your life. Don't get too caught up in what you have to do for what you enjoy doing. I always hear a little voice saying to me, Roz, are you going to live to work, or are you going to work to live? I have to ask myself that question after the 60-hour days and the 60-hour weeks and 60-hour times in my life. I think about those times where I've had to stay up late at night and pack goodies for the next day at school for the kids. I think about when I've had to get up and travel at 4 a.m. in the morning. And I think about the people around me who have helped me get through those moments. And I think about what makes me so passionate is that I've had the fortune of having a wonderful family and wonderful friends and wonderful colleagues around me that I could engage with. My friends from high school. My daughter is named after my best friend from kindergarten. It's those relationships, that passion, that drives me to remember how important it is to have balance. And if you can define balance in your life according to what gets you charged. Take a constant inventory of your life. Be intentional in finding what matters most to you and work really, really hard in pursuit of those things. So grit. What is grit? Grit essentially is having the ability to endure and persist over time on a journey towards accomplishing big and hard things. It's a combination of desire and fortitude in which you are willing to do the many small, mundane tasks that give us no pleasure in and of themselves, so that we must realize our dreams. Having grit gives you the ability to persist after setbacks, trusting your intuition when others might wait for too much information to make decisions. When you trust your intuition, you don't wait to be told the answer. Building grit is quitting enough things early on until you find your real passion. You know, grit is not something you're born with. It is an outcome based on the trials you have faced. For me, it was the moments when I tried something new and felt really, really stupid, but I stuck with it. It reminds me of my first job. When I left Spelman College, I joined Kimberly-Clark, and I was a technician in the chemistry lab, but I would get invited to these big meetings. I was shy, I was bashful, I felt no one really actually wanted to hear my voice. I'd walk down the hallways, no one would say hello, although I saw others gathering in the cafeteria. I thought about those moments and reflect on those often because it was the little shy girl in me that never felt like my voice mattered. When I think about those times in my life where grit paid it forward, it was that time when someone looked back at me and asked me what I was thinking. Someone looked me square in the eyes and said, Roz, what's on your mind? And I began to use my voice. I felt comfortable talking. And you know what? I got grittier and grittier and grittier. And that paid forward for me. It has been in my most frustrated moments I have found that I've learned the most. I truly feel that grit afforded me some of my best growth opportunities. I remember when I took 3 lateral positions with no pay increase for the hardest jobs in my life. I remember taking a huge step backwards. I left Kimberly-Clark. I was a group president of global manufacturing and operations, and I took this job at Walmart as a vice president over stores in Georgia. I knew nothing about retail. I gave up an international job with all the cushy stuff to join a little office in Ackworth, Georgia, and began to run big box retail. But I took that step back because I found myself that I wasn't learning anything more in my role at Kimberly-Clark. It's a great company, beautiful people. I grew up there, but I knew I couldn't grow any further. So I took a step back in order to go forward. I got a ton of criticism. It wasn't the most favored company to join. A lot was happening with that company at the time, but I knew I had become grittier. I knew that I needed a change. I knew I wanted to learn more, and I knew if I challenged myself and jumped out there against any odds, forgetting about the money, forgetting about the cushy job, the beautiful office, and go into a cubbyhole and learn something new called retail. I grew tremendously. So what does it mean to have or show grace? When we show grace to others, it's about showing kindness to someone else, even when maybe they don't even deserve it. Grace is going out of your way to give your compassion, your kindness, and your love to someone, even if they fall short of appreciation or be willing to return the favor. Grace is having the capacity to accept or tolerate a setback, a delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. Does that sound familiar? The fun times you all have made out of this year, out of your sophomore year, playing in the boys' bathroom and things like that? I think you knew how to show grace. So why do I feel that this just might be the best, the strongest, the greatest class that ever graduated from Westminster, even though I had a graduate from 2013 and 2021? You believe in yourself, and you have been battle tested. Of the almost 200 graduates of this class, you rank among the highest percentage of National Merit Program recognitions, Advanced Placement Scholars, College Board recognitions, and student athletes that will compete in college. Just how did you manage to accomplish so much when the cards appeared to be stacked against you since 10th grade and the onset of the pandemic and many other national and global events? I would say, graduates, you have the ability to influence change because you have the grit and tenacity to prevail. You have a growth mindset. You remain passionate and committed to your vision for yourself and for those around you. And you have the tenacity as you have truly succeeded against the odds. This describes a 2022 Westminster grad. So finally, to the graduates of the Westminster class of 2022, I am immensely proud of this class. You have prevailed. You have the armor to battle. You have the passion for change. So go forward. Be the link. Be the link to begin to mend the paralysis we are experiencing in this country. Close the divide. Show the world that you have uniquely become a change agent. Create meaningful relationships built on common values, referenced from your qualities of patience and passion and grit and grace. Class of 2022, thank you for listening, and Godspeed.
Thank you, Roz, for sharing your experiences and your wisdom, and most importantly, for your many contributions to Westminster over the year, from being a trustee to maybe most importantly, being a parent. Class of 2022, thank you for ushering me through my first year as head of upper school. You have shown thoughtfulness, determination, grace, and humor. You have modeled to our underclassmen what it means to be a true wildcat, and for all of that, I am grateful. So let's do this. Mr. Murphy, upon the authorization of the faculty and the endorsement of the Board of Trustees of the Westminster Schools, I present to you the members of the class of 2022 for the presentation of diplomas and Bibles. Mary Claire McKay Anderson. Sophie Rose Anderson. Alexander James Bacchetta. Nishka Ball. Allison Grace Barrett. Harrison Davis Barth. Xavier Bartleywood. Mattia Battisti. Charlotte Nance Boyer. Robert Kennedy Burnett. Caroline McConnell Blankenbeckler. Charles Copeland Block. Charles Hurt Bulwark. Micah Sidney Arcor Boy. Elizabeth Macaulay Bradham. Grace Campbell Bradley. Caroline Connor Buhay. Yamalith Cambron. Daniel Lucas Carbonara. Eva Grace Carlton. Ronald Andrew Carpinella III. Chase Alexander Chaw. James Parker Chalmers. Kirk Chayefsky. Anna Chen. Diane Lily Chen. Noah Shingarong Chen. Preston William Childress. Robert Arnold Clark. Kenneth Miles Clayton. Camden Earl Coleman. Sarah Jane Cooper. Carlisle Raven Cornell. Dean Stewart Curitan. James Stafford Davis. Sydney Nicole Day. Beatrice M. D'Aristigay. John Michael DeJanes. Kristen Elizabeth DeJanes. Frank Allen Decker. Serena Snehol Desai. Andrew Gregory DeWalt. Caroline Ann Dickey. Caroline Saville Dixon. Eula Brigitte Dole. Rachel Nicole Doman. Margaret Bentley Drury. Jalen Dominic Drow. Alex Michael Egwaville. Thomas Wells Idbo. Lauren Marie Fernando. Matthew Collin Fernando. Jacob L. Fleming III. Luca Costa Corrado Flori. Hadley Marie Faust. Eleanor Miller Freeman. Colin Patrick Gibney. Jackson White Gill. Catherine Ashcroft Goheen. Riley Jane Goldstrom. Spencer Ward Gosden. Taylor Elizabeth Greaves. Henry Havard Griggs. Allison Nicole Grabowski. Ann Wright Gary. Nithya Guthakanda. Lila Norris Hayden. Emily Dominique Kimbler Henkla. Kathleen Megan Hanratty. Amelia Hope Harrelson. Mary Virginia Harrelson. Nicholas James Harvey. Ruth Clara Hay. Russell John Harakovich Jr. Matias Enrique Hernandez Arellano. Victor Shung Hesu. Alessandra Ava Higley. Sophia Framus. Christopher Huang. Michael Chance Orlandez. Samuel Maxwell Ivey. Joseph Nowell Jackson. Sue Arbery Jackson. Justice Walter Jaco. John Walter Ransom James. Annie Jardina. Catherine Page Jernigan. Clara Fontaine Johnson. Garland Love Johnson. Catherine Elizabeth Johnson. Rajan Keshav Kadaba. Hamani Vidya Kalra. Sarah Michelle Kapazi. Charles Paul Kazazian. Thage Krishan Khanna. Francis Neil Kinchala. Nora Eve Laskar. Alexander C. Latz. Alexander J. Lee. Mia Brooke Levine. Samuel Stewart Levine. Michelle Jade Liu. Tobias Siwei Liu. William Jenkins Love II. Alice Emma McChesney. David Thomas Maxwell. William Craighead Maxwell. William Reed May. Henry Joseph Metzheiser. Andrew Holden Meyer. Jackson Eccles Miller. Jackson Reddick Miller. Price Balford Miller. Virginia Shepard Miller. Camille Ruth Mitchell. Sydney Marie Moore. Emma Karen Morrison. Helen Marie Mosley. Patrick Comstock Nagy. Casey Alexandria Newkirk. Walton Ashcraft Newton. Josephine Laura Nichols. Jackson Meade Nicholson. Kushi Nayar. Daniel Nicholas Nunez. Sophia Ellen Oberle. Kendall A. Osterling. Patrick Riley O'Neill. Andrew Reynolds Owen Jr. Victor Jaden Owens. Skylar Amon Paris. Elijah Joel Patterson. Brooks O'Callahan Platford. Neil S. Padar. Julia Wright Powers. William Lee Quigley. Sophia Alexandra Ratcliffe. William Mackenzie Ragland III. Rahul Srinivas Ramaneni. Jack W. Ramsey. Helen Gray Reardon. Austin James Reiner. Edward Butler Rendell. William Ernest Rogers. Lucas Alexander Rosenberg. Ethan Walker Rouse. Isai Saucedo. Benjamin Edward Sayers. Christina Nicole Schauffele. Campbell Artemis LaCour Cersei. Jordan Marie Segrosa. Savan Nikhil Shaw. John Denton Schamberger. Kushi Sharma. Joseph Shen. Ishan Nandan Sheth. Stephen Hansu Shen. Avijit Singh. Charlotte Brooke Snyder. Edmund James Solomon IV. Mira Ihan Srinivasa. Noah Holden Stays. Mason Allen Stevenson. Catherine Bennett Stevens. Henry James Stiff. Whitaker Collins Swan. Helen Nixon Simbas. Kevin Edward Tice. Andrew Joseph Thompson. Catherine Lyle Thompson. Henley Holland Tippins. Peyton Sidney Townsend. Noah Nereri Turbez. Emma Grace Turton. Marzouk Mohammed Adin. Olivia Katerina Villanova. Nikhil Vijayvargiya. Ashley Nicole Vincent. Stephanie Visoso. Ava Eloise Wagner. Noah Oliver Andreas Wall. Ella Nicole Wallace. Finn Rosemarie Walsh. Hunter McMahon Wanamaker. Dara Amelia Edison Watkins. Alexa Jacqueline Wells. Luke Grayson Westenfelder. Nicholas Alexander Westenfelder. Jackson Alexander Wilkie. Haywood Thomas Wilkemeyer. Margaret Caroline Williams. Hayes Westlake Woolley. Daniel Taylor Wood. Amelia Jean Wright. Catherine Louise Yeoman. Samantha Yu. Alexandra Ruthven Zeiler. Jane Adelaide Zeising. Brittany Kensington Zwerner. Will the class of 2022 please stand? Graduates, please move your tassels from the right to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2022.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations. You're now alumni of Westminster. I'd like to invite Mia Levine, Matias Hernandez Arellano, and Micah Boyd to the stage now. For those families who are scheduled to have ties that bind photographs made, those pictures will be taken immediately following the ceremony in front of Campbell Hall to my right. And now if I could ask all of us to stand, please. Here at Westminster, we have a tradition of tolling the bell at commencement. This will be followed by the singing of the alma mater and then our closing prayer.
Please pray with me. Thank you, God, for bringing us together today for this momentous occasion in our lives. Thank you for this chance to celebrate each other. Thank you for seeing us through not only these last 4 years, but our whole careers as students. Thank you for all the amazing things we've achieved, for blessing us with the opportunities we've had and the people who supported us. I pray that as we go into the next chapter of our lives, you will continue to be with us and guide us through good times as well as the hardships we will face. I pray that you help us maintain the relationships we've created here at Westminster and help each one of us make new connections in the coming years. As we leave the school we have come to know and love, I ask that you will be with us and see us through the challenges we face. I pray that during hard times we turn to you and that you will be there to answer our prayer. Please bless us, our parents, teachers, and all those who have helped us get here. Bless the school that has prepared us and each one of us as we move forward to start new schools. Thank you for all that you've done and will do as we continue our journeys. In your name we pray. Amen.